minimums to be implemented. He said he's ready to listen to you. Some have said they don't want the steering committee is even ready to come to the X spaces, but Karemi maintains that there's no that room for dialogue. Do you feel this is a holistic sort of approach from the Gen Zs, or it just might be with a few?
Alan, first allow me send my sincere condolences to the families who lost their loved ones. These are young men and women who gave out their lives out there to reaffirm the sovereignty of this country. Going forward, and also wish quick recovery to those who are still recuperating at the various hospitals in the country. I don't think the agitation to have a dialogue is something to dismiss or to embrace, because the president in his climax of the conversation has admitted to some of the things or the demands that this generation has put forward. He has acknowledged some of them, and the mannerism in which he's trying to choreograph the so-called National Committee of Dialogue doesn't make sense. I just poked holes and questioned the logic behind it. Before you can be so sure of the number of people you are going to have at the committee, at least for the sake of sincerity, tell us how many civil societies do we have in Kenya? How many youth-led organizations do we have in Kenya? How are you going to sieve all these people to bring them to the front line? Because let me tell you, Alan, as a protester, I was in the streets. I was tear-gassed. I was threatened and intimidated by these plainclothes, hooligans in the name of police. The people who are basically protesting, some of them are not even on X. Some of them do not belong to any formal organization. Some of them do not even belong to Facebook and whatever. I don't know the rationale behind this push. And I can say it without any fear of contradiction, that the people around the president, as long as you are still going to use the mindset you used to listen to us before demonstrations, and the same mindset you are still applying during this, I am telling you, we thought today would come out as a remorseful individual, a man who was ready to tone down. But what I'm seeing in President William Ruto is such a thumping man, full of arrogance, full of revenge, and on a revenge mission. And it's very categorical that we are still going to deal with people. You cannot continue threatening people while you are still sweet-talking them to come and have a dialogue with you. We don't dialogue with fist, we dialogue with sobriety.
But Kennedy, you've acknowledged that he's actually acknowledged some of the issues that you've raised, and he said, yes, I'm ready and willing to have the discussion. How then would the president get to address these issues if you don't want to talk?
The president, who has said we are not ready to talk, but we are talking, even now I'm talking.
Yeah.
The president, what I'm trying to say is that the president, I don't know, the president used to lying a lot, Alan, I could tell you this for a fact. But we are not refusing a talk.
Yes.
But we are not ready to be carried as fools. The president thinks that most of us are UDA youth leaders or UDA supporters whom he will chant lies to and they will easily buy into. You look at myself, I look presentable, besides the definition of a youth in the context of Kenyan politicians, because they don't believe some of us may look smart. They believe we must look like raggeds. So, whatever it is that the president wants us to do, it has always been said. And that is a justification on how failed the government is. Imagine a deputy president telling you that nominate one of yourself or some of you to lead us. How do we do this? This is a justification that there are some of the changes that the young persons like myself are pushing for. The overhaul and disbandment of things like the National Youth Council is a clarity that the government has failed the people of Kenya. The president in his speech has acknowledged miscommunication between his office and the people of Kenya. That is a clear justification that the government is operating in utopia. They are operating in oblivion of the people's reality. So it is insensitive that the president is still demanding that we have a conversation. It's not genuine. If the president wants us to speak, by the way, I don't want to dress my suit and go to State House and be bribed in a brown envelope. Come to Kasarani Stadium or any other place. Come with your JSU and the police you've deployed in the streets. Take a mic there and do not bring Dennis Itumbi, because I know how Itumbi works. He will stage stooges in that particular meeting, give them mics to spew lies. I have been there. We know how you people work. Just come. We elected you, Mr. President. Let us have a conversation, a peaceful dialogue. You don't need to use stooges, people you will stamp your feet on, then they run away. We want to speak the truth. No one is here to fear. No one is here to disrespect. We only want to have a sincere dialogue if you really mean to dialogue with us. But before we can get there, you've heard what we've said. At least start by initiating. Fire the dissolve the office of the first lady. We only elected President William Ruto. We never elected Rachel Ruto.
All right.
Dissolve the office of the prime secretary and everything. All these unconstitutional officers. Dissolve them. Then come for the dialogue.
Let's give Brian a chance to also come in on this. Of course, Kennedy, they're very passionate about the issues that you've stipulated that you want the president to look into and basically address. But he's said before the dialogue, there are bare minimums. But the president, from where I sit from, he explained himself. If you're operating within the rule of law, say for example, you want the ministers and the CSs to be fired, say for example, Mithikali Nturi, but he went through a due process and he was cleared. So where is the balance? Something has to give. I mean,